Imagine starting your morning with something warm, simple, and surprisingly effective. Not coffee, not a supplement, not a complicated health drink with ingredients you can't even pronounce. Just water with ginger. At first, it almost feels too basic to matter. Something you could easily overlook. Something that doesn't feel powerful enough to change anything significant in your body. But here's what most people don't realize. The most effective habits are rarely the most complicated ones. They're the ones that work quietly, consistently, without forcing your body to react. And ginger water is one of those habits. It's been used for centuries, not as a trend, not as a quick fix, but as something people naturally rely on when their body feels off, when digestion feels slow, when energy feels unstable, when something just doesn't feel quite right. And yet today, most people skip over it completely. They wake up and go straight for coffee, or sugary drinks, or nothing at all. And over time, that creates a pattern. Your stomach feels a little heavy. Your energy doesn't feel steady. Your body feels like it's always trying to catch up. But what if something as simple as ginger water could begin to shift that? Not instantly, not dramatically, but gradually, in a way that actually works with your body instead of against it. So the real question becomes this: what actually happens when you drink ginger water every single day? What changes inside your body after a few days, or a few weeks? And how do you use it the right way so it supports your body, without overdoing it? Because sometimes, the simplest habits are the ones your body responds to the most. Now here's where things start to become clearer. Because what most people experience every day doesn't feel like a serious problem. It just feels slightly uncomfortable. You wake up, and something feels off. Your stomach isn't exactly painful, but it's not completely settled either. There's a slight heaviness, a mild discomfort that you've learned to ignore. Then you eat. And afterward, instead of feeling light and energized, you feel slow, maybe a little bloated, maybe just not as comfortable as you expected. And your energy? It doesn't stay consistent. You feel okay for a while, then suddenly tired. So you reach for something, coffee, sugar, snacks, just to bring it back up again. And this becomes your normal. But here's what's actually happening underneath all of that. Your digestive system isn't functioning as efficiently as it could. Modern diets are filled with foods that are easy to consume, but difficult for your body to process properly. Processed meals, refined carbohydrates, low fiber, these don't support your digestive system. They pass through quickly in some ways, but also create imbalance. Food doesn't move as smoothly as it should. Gas builds up. Bloating becomes common. Your stomach feels heavier than it needs to. And over time, your body starts to adapt to this slower, less efficient system. Then there's inflammation. Not the kind you immediately feel, but low-level, constant inflammation that builds quietly. It affects how your body functions in subtle ways. You feel more tired than you should. Your body feels heavier. Your energy isn't stable. And it's not because something is wrong. It's because your body isn't being supported in the right way. Now add hydration into this. Most people don't hydrate properly in the morning. They wake up already dehydrated, and instead of replenishing that, they go straight to coffee. That stimulates the body, but without hydration underneath it, your system becomes even more unbalanced. So now your body is dealing with multiple things at once: sluggish digestion, low hydration, mild but constant inflammation, unstable energy levels, and it's constantly trying to adjust. The frustrating part: most people try to fix this by adding more complexity, more supplements, more rules, more restrictions. But often the real solution isn't complicated at all. It's about giving your body something simple, something that supports it at the exact moment it needs it most. And that's exactly where ginger water begins to make sense. Not as a quick fix, but as a small, consistent support system that helps your body function the way it was meant to. Now let's slow things down and look at what actually begins to happen inside your body when you drink ginger water every day. Because the effects are not dramatic, they don't feel intense, but they build, quietly, consistently. Let's start with digestion. When you drink ginger water, especially in the morning, one of the first things it does is gently stimulate your digestive system. Ginger contains natural compounds like gingerol that interact with your stomach and intestines. Instead of your digestive system slowly waking up on its own, ginger gives it a signal. It's time to start moving. And that changes something important. Food begins to move more efficiently through your system. Your stomach empties at a more natural pace. Gas doesn't build up as easily. That heavy, uncomfortable feeling after meals starts to decrease. So after a few days, or sometimes a week, you may notice something subtle. You feel lighter after eating. You feel less bloated. Your digestion feels smoother, more consistent. Not because your body is being forced, but because it's being supported. Then there's inflammation. Most people don't feel inflammation directly. It doesn't show up as something obvious, but it exists in the background, affecting how your body functions. Ginger contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds. When you consume it regularly, it helps reduce this low-level inflammation over time. And what does that feel like? Your body feels less sluggish. You don't feel as heavy throughout the day. There's a subtle sense of balance that wasn't there before. It's not something you can measure instantly, but you can feel it. Now let's talk about your stomach comfort. Ginger has been used for a long time to help with nausea and digestive discomfort. When you drink ginger water regularly, it helps calm your stomach. So if you're someone who often feels unsettled after eating, or occasionally experiences mild discomfort, this is where ginger starts to make a noticeable difference. Your stomach feels more stable, less reactive, more calm. Then there's metabolism. Ginger can slightly increase something called thermogenesis, how your body produces heat and uses energy. This doesn't mean sudden weight loss. It doesn't mean your body starts burning fat dramatically overnight. But it does mean your body becomes a little more efficient. And when that combines with better digestion and more stable energy, the effect builds over time. Now let's look at blood sugar. When your blood sugar rises quickly, your energy follows the same pattern, up, then down. But ginger may help support more stable blood sugar levels by slowing down how quickly energy is released into your system. The result? Fewer spikes, fewer crashes, more consistent energy throughout the day. And then there's hydration. This is one of the most overlooked parts. By drinking ginger water, especially in the morning, you're hydrating your body at the exact time it needs it most. After hours of sleep, your system is ready to absorb fluids. And when hydration is combined with something like ginger, the effect becomes more noticeable. Your body wakes up more smoothly. Your energy feels more stable. Your system feels more awake without being overstimulated. And finally, there's something that ties all of this together. The habit itself. When you start your day with something intentional, something simple, something consistent, it creates a pattern. You become more aware of your body, more connected to how you feel, more likely to make better choices throughout the day. So when you look at everything together, ginger water isn't powerful because of one single effect. It's powerful because of how many small systems it supports at the same time. Digestion becomes smoother. Inflammation becomes lower. Energy becomes more stable. Hydration becomes consistent. And over time, all of those small changes create something bigger, a body that feels more balanced, without being forced to get there. So now that you understand what's happening inside your body, the next step becomes simple. How do you actually drink ginger water in a way that supports your body, without overdoing it? Because this is where many people make a mistake. They hear something is healthy, and they either don't stay consistent, or they try to do too much too quickly. But the key here is not intensity, it's consistency and balance. Let's go back to your morning. You wake up, and before anything else, before coffee, before food, you give your body something simple. You take fresh ginger, not powdered, not heavily processed. Fresh. About 1 to 2 inches is enough. You slice it thinly, not because it needs to be perfect, but because it helps release the natural compounds into the water. Then you add it to warm or hot water. Not boiling, not extremely hot, just warm enough to extract what your body needs without making it harsh. You let it sit for a few minutes. 5 to 10 minutes is enough for the ginger to infuse into the water. And during that time, something small but important is happening. You're slowing down. You're not rushing. You're creating a moment. Then you drink it. Not quickly. Not all at once. Slowly. Let your body receive it. And then you wait. You give your system a little time, before coffee, before food, so your digestive system can fully respond. This is where the real effect begins. Now here's something important. More is not better. Adding too much ginger can irritate your stomach. It can feel too strong, too overwhelming. And instead of supporting your body, it creates discomfort. So you keep it simple, a small amount, every day. You can adjust it slightly. Some people add a squeeze of lemon, others add a small amount of honey. But the key is to keep it minimal, so you're not turning it into something heavy or overly sweet. And consistency matters more than anything else. Drinking it once or twice won't create a noticeable difference, but drinking it every day, especially at the same time, that's when your body begins to adapt. And over time, it becomes part of your routine. Not something you have to think about, just something you do. A small, quiet habit that supports your body in the background, without making your life more complicated. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for coffee, before you rush into your usual routine, pause for just a moment and try something different. A warm cup of ginger water. Nothing complicated, nothing extreme, just a small, intentional start to your day. And then pay attention. Not to some dramatic, instant change, but to the small shifts. How your stomach feels after you drink it. How your energy moves throughout the morning. How your body responds over the next few days. Because real change doesn't come from doing everything at once. It comes from doing one simple thing, consistently. If you found this helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more simple, science-based health content. And comment below, are you going to try ginger water tomorrow? Because sometimes, the smallest habits make the biggest difference.